don't think anybody's here yet. Oh no. So this is my first live in a long time. And there was a whole bunch of things I actually wanted to talk about. And I've been trying to figure out how to best do these, you know, like making actual YouTube videos. Because I don't know how to do like photo editing. Hi, people. Hi, there's people here. I didn't know if anybody would show up. Frankly, it's been so fucking long since I went live, and so few people know that I'm back on TikTok. So I'm back on TikTok. If it's me, the Dark One. Anybody doesn't know that I'm back on TikTok, it's Geronimo Funk. But yeah, been mixing it up with fools today. A lot of just people angry today. It's interesting. Anyway, what I've been thinking about doing, I wanted to do a thing where I basically did a much longer version of a TikTok stitch, where I took a video from TikTok and recorded it and put it here. It's full length, so you can see the whole video, and then basically do my commentary on it. Well, I figured, yeah, different enemies. Me too! That's why now I'm Geronimo Funk. Snorkoff was too easy to find. But I am showing my face. This is me. Can you guys not see me? I've gone live. This is, are you guys not looking at my face? Or you mean on TikTok? Oh, because, okay, so I made a second Snorkoff account, and it almost immediately, it was on there for like a week and got banned. And I believe that is because they could see pictures of me, and so they were, you know, as soon as it hit the For You page, it all of a sudden, boom, 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 everything was getting canceled, everything was getting reported. And since I started using this guy, I was able, you know, I've been able to make videos again. So the only reason I'm not showing my face and using, you know, my stand-in or my ceiling fan or whatever is because it allows me to continue to, you know, make TikTok videos rather than just get immediately banned. I figured once I got up past like 5,000 again, I'll start showing that it's me again. That's all. Although this kind of thing has become kind of a shtick, you know, my little bald guy. It seemed funny, so I started using it, and it seemed funny, and you know, so that's where that goes. Will I show it anytime soon? Oh, I don't know. I might. I hadn't really thought about it. Like, it was just my dumb ugly mug. Who fucking cares? 80,000 on TikTok. You need help with attention topics? I would love to, please. You know, I'm Geronimo Funk, so if you would like to do stitches or whatever, I honestly, going live on TikTok was the more fun part. I know that I have a certain tonality, on TikTok that's very, kind of aggressive and condescending, really. And I need to stop that. Today, especially, I've been dealing with people that I find to be really stupid. That's the only way I can say it. Yeah, and I know. And so I made Snortcough, and then I made Snortcough again, and then I got banned. So now it's Geronimo Funk. I don't know if I can put that on the screen somewhere. Maybe I can just type it into the chat. Yeah, I can. Okay. There, that's Geronimo Funk. Is that? That's me. What are my thoughts on Jordan Peterson? I like, a lot of what Jordan Peterson has to say. He is more into, obviously he's a psychiatrist, right? He's a psychiatrist. So he invests much more into psychology than I do. Where we tend to diverge is where he bases much of his belief set on what psychology has said. And I'm very wary of psychology because it is not a science. It's not as assured as we believe it to be. That does not mean that it is not helpful and useful, and that given proper academic rigor, it doesn't have a lot to tell us. When I say psychology is not a science, it makes a lot of people very, very defensive, as though I am saying you throw away psychology altogether. It's not what I'm saying. I'm professionally trained in a lot of psychology in the Marines. I was a combat hunter. That's almost exclusively about psychology. That's what we call combat profiling. Many of you are at least passively familiar with forensic profiling, which is to look at a scene after the fact and then profile from the evidence that is presented. Combat profiling takes place in real time because it's, you're cruising down the street on patrol, and it's how to read people and what their intentions might be. It's also our job is to locate and close with proficient enemy commanders in order to eliminate them. It's a force multiplier task, and so there's a lot of psychology involved in that. I'm way more careful about how I talk about dating after seeing what happened. Yeah. No. People. It is unfortunate, and I understand that I can offend people. I also understand that I am deliberately using what are called disruptive tactics if we're going to talk about psychology. Human beings are creatures of habits. They get into cycles. What about feminism? So the modern one is mostly about gaining power, ideological weapon. Let's talk about the habits and patterns kinds of goes into that. Feminism, modern feminism, and I believe many of the modern race-based movements are reactions to a diminishing and yet still valid victimization and victimhood identity. What does that mean? It is true that women and people of color have historically been oppressed. There are real, factual, and horrifying histories of oppression based on things like race and sex. Our society is becoming progressively more egalitarian and more equal in massive amounts. As that occurs, the ability, let's take those two things and put a pin in them for a moment. Sorry, it's hard to gather my thoughts precisely all the time. Humans consistently write a narrative about themselves and their life in which they are both the hero and the victim. And the reason that people like to be victims is because when you are a victim, the moral onus, the The moral work is on the other person to change because you were innocent in the event, right? Someone comes and just arbitrarily attacks you on the street. You're an innocent person, and the moral change has to happen with that other person so you don't have to do any work, right? When we address complex social issues in which someone can claim victimhood, they will always claim victimhood because it removes the responsibility of having to look in yourself and see those habits, when we're talking about cycles and patterns that you need to change and that bring about your own failure. As society, so I'll pull the pin out, as society becomes more equal, as society becomes more egalitarian, it diminishes the ability to claim victimhood. And it means that you have to start looking at yourself in a very big way and saying, wow, we have really fucked up. This is all our fault. We have to change what we are doing. But doing that means admitting you're wrong. It means doing hard work. It means looking at aspects of your life that you were previously blaming on someone else and admitting that you screwed up. And that's difficult. And so as the reality of being a victim diminishes, people, and when I say the reality of victimhood diminishes, that is not to say that it is gone. Racism still exists, even though there's no such thing as race. All human beings are the same. If you pull a gene out of one human and pull a gene out of the other, they're fucking identical. The cosmetic things that we see that we use to categorize people of different races are just allele expressions that came to exist because of environmental factors. And environmental factors will change them. So there's no such thing as race. It doesn't exist. It's not a thing. All humans can breed with other humans. All humans have the same genome. All humans, different expressions of that genome are allele expressions. There's no such thing as different races. That's nonsense. But violence based on the idea of race still exists. Violence against women still exists. Ergo, there is victimization. And as long as there is victimization, they will cling, even though that the victimization is diminishing and diminishing and diminishing and diminishing in reality, they will cherry pick down to that diminishing reality to hold on to the ability to claim victimhood in order to not have to change their own behavior. And it is their own behavior that destroys their life. But as long as you can sit on the couch playing video games, blaming someone else for your lack of success, you're going to do that because it's easier to sit on the couch and play video games and blame someone than to look at yourself and say, I don't have anything because I sit around and play fucking video games all the time. Women are raised to be entitled, double standards. Most of them want to maintain the status quo any way they can. And one of those is not growing the hell up and acting like a victim. Something I noticed that I don't think most people do. We get rid of patriarchy that kept gynocentricity, and two were opposite opposing forces that balanced each other. That may be. I don't believe in the creation of a so-called giant social patriarchy. Because when people talk about the patriarchy, you say, well, what about all these men's issue things? Oh, well, the patriarchy is against men too. So wait a minute. It was designed by men to oppress men. You're getting real fucking ridiculous real quick. And what it actually means is they just want something to blame. So the social construction of an amorphous, intangible patriarchy that we can blame for everything, it's really convenient because you complain about all your problems and say it's the patriarchy. And then I say, what about all my problems? Oh, that's also the patriarchy. The patriarchy is to blame. Well, where's this fucking patriarchy? Is it some kind of like cabal of old white guys sitting around a table? I mean, this is nuts. So there you go. Feminists always try to cherry pick a particular violent crime, sexual assault, to push the idea that women are victims, but in the larger picture, women are less likely to be victims of violent crime. Yeah, that's true. The sexual assault and rape are horrifying things, but the chances of being assaulted and raped are actually very small. So they manufacture, like you look at this 97% report that came out, right? All of them just, I am the 97%. We are all victims. All right, let's look at this data. For one thing, you looked at like harassment. Harassment is defined everywhere as more than once, right? Like sexual harassment is repeated unwanted advances. Like that's the definition everywhere. But if you look in that report, harassment is one time. So if a guy came and asked you on a date one time and you weren't attracted to him and didn't want him to have asked you on a date, that's the cat turning the computer. If you didn't want him to ask you on a date, then him asking you on that date that you didn't want to be asked out on is harassment. And it's like, that definition doesn't make any fucking sense and was obviously designed to create greater entanglement in their statistical analysis to push up their numbers. It was a voluntary response survey. Those are the worst kinds of surveys because you will only get the extremes, people that want to respond. The actual number of respondents was 1,012. And it's like, okay, statistically significance, you generally have to get 10% of your population. Now, there's a lot of statisticians that say, well, you don't want more than 1,000 because your data becomes unwieldy and complicated. And that's true. But when you're looking at 156 million people, 1,000 is not a statistically significant amount to base your conclusions on. And 1,000 responding to a volunteer survey where you only get the extreme ends, and you are basing the results of that survey on obviously concocted number pushing answers. This whole thing is bullshit. Right. That's a conclusion with a study built around it. Absolutely. Power of the pussy. I think there is a lot of socialization that women both feel a victim of, but also take advantage of. Because they will yell at you for looking at their tits, but then if you're a cop pulling them over to give them a speeding ticket, they're like, right? So they don't want to be sexualized until they want to be sexualized, but only want to be sexualized by someone they want to sexualize them. And that depends on their mood, time of day, what they're looking for at that moment. It's like, no. Yeah. The emotional maturity of constantly claiming to be sexualized while using sex to empower yourself is a contradiction. Shadow, you actually tagged me in that woman saying, what if we turned all the men down unless they came at us right? I actually already responded to that. It's a couple videos back now because I've got all these other idiots that I was talking to all day, but that one was already responded to. Now I've got I don't know, what is his fucking name? Comrade Sparkles. He's like, I'm calling you a coward. I'm like, go ahead. I don't fucking care. It's like, you weren't there on the battlefield. You weren't there commanding a rescue, but you want to talk some shit on the internet. Remember that guy, Cyborg Rabby? And he was talking all kinds of shit, so I deliberately set him up. And he was like, oh, I was like, buy the plane ticket. Oh, no, we got a plane ticket. I'll be on the train. I'll be there Monday. So then I showed up at the train station Monday just to make fun of him. It's the same shit. It's like, You're talking about the video where the woman's like, unless men came at us right. I'm like, what if we demanded that women came at us right? And frankly, we want the women to turn men down who don't come at them right. That's the whole fucking thing we've been complaining about. It's like you're walking into your own fucking trap, dipshit. You're the ones picking the biggest shit bags you can find. That ain't us. Although there are plenty of men that pick the nastiest harpy they can find. Men as well need to stay out of toxic relationships. I would love to have a universal movement by men that demanded certain behavior by women. You have to make a contribution to a relationship. When you say I do, you're fucked. I think we should do away with no fault divorces. I think that would have a big impact. Do away with alimony, that kind of thing. There was I lost my train of thought. Shit. Oh well. Sorry. I know we tell women all the time, you're the ones with low standards. Raise your fucking standards. Like, and they don't listen. And then they complain about getting shit relationships. It's like, but we're telling you that. That's what we are telling you. Stop dating the shitbag. It's not that hard. Oh well. I need to go to leg day. I hate these fucking white knights. Yeah, they piss me off. No, I know. You gotta just realize that there are some men who are so wrapped up. Look, I make a lot of videos about the stupid shit that women do, but that's only because I think the stupid shit that men do already gets plenty of attention. It's not a suggestion that men are not doing stupid shit. It's just that I think men's stupid shit already is out there on a billboard for everybody to see. And I think that we need to draw attention to the stupid shit that women do to say, hey, men do stupid shit, but that doesn't actually relieve you of the burden of the stupid shit that you do. So, yes, this guy's a cheating sleazebag fuck that you never should have dated. I agree. You chose to date said cheating sleazebag fuck. You rewarded that behavior and, in fact, started your relationship with cheating on his girlfriend. Now you're mad that he's cheating and you're standing in an Arby's parking lot pushing each other around. Lost a child. She started looking for the comfort in an ex-partner of her because her husband wasn't giving it according to her. Does that justify her actions? Losing a child. I'm not going to say that justifies her actions. However, losing a child is a devastating thing in a couple. It seems like the guy in the couple was retreated emotionally from her so he could handle his own shit. And I get that, right? He lost a child as well. It wasn't she lost a child. They lost a child. And they both handled it badly. Although how you handle losing a child well, right? The husband did need support. However, and this is my view, we as men need to lead. And that means we have to take on more burdens. Being a leader is not less work. It is more work. Being a leader means you have to be harder. You know, everybody wants to be the leader until it's hard. Everybody wants to be the shot caller until calling the shot means you got to send your best friend running toward a machine gun. or you got to tell your guys to suit up and go into the dark in a gas-filled hole and say, I don't know if we can get you out. Everybody wants to be the leader until it's time to be the leader, and it hurts. So yeah, he needed support. He lost a child. He was devastated, and he absolutely had every right to process that in the way that he needed to process it. But he also had a wife to lead and possibly other children. And that means he needed to say, okay, there will be a time for me, but I need to take care of my people first. And that's not fair, but life isn't fair. So to me, her actions were not justified, but she was also not led by her husband. He let her down as well. So, right. That's, I'd say that a lot. I said that, when I was snort cough. There's a lot about raising children now that are like, men need to be okay emotionally. We need to allow little boys to express their emotions. And I say, well, wait a minute. That's all true. But there's a lot of value in telling someone to man up, because there's a time to be emotional, but there's also a time to be stoic and aggressive, and to say, my emotional fear right now, I'm putting that aside, because right now I need to go rip that guy's face off. Right now I need to fight the bear. Right now I need to hold up my wife. That's what I need to do. I must be the pillar. I don't have time to be emotional right now. Right now, my people need me. And men need that. But she flirted. I don't see that. I'll make it right for her to. I didn't say it was right. Fafu jeans. I just said I don't justify her actions. I'm understanding them, and I'm saying that she let him down and he let her down. That's all I'm saying. That doesn't justify her actions. It comprehends them. Something that men need to do, and men are very bad at doing, is having a skill set to comprehend emotions and engage emotionally with someone. Men have a tendency, especially when you're in conflict with your lover, and she comes to you with an emotional thing. She says, she says, you never do. She comes in and you're sitting on the couch doing whatever, and she's huffing around the house, and you say, what's wrong? And she says, nothing. Communication fail, right? She fucking communication skill set failure. But you say, no, something's wrong. What's fucking wrong? You never do the fucking dishes. I always come home to a pile of dishes. Now, the immediate male response is to be rational and logical, to shut down the emotions and look for the example of when he did do I do the fucking dishes. I did them Tuesday. I did them last week on Thursday. You know what? You're always fucking bitching. I don't never do the fucking dishes. Well, I did it. And then she right. And now we're into it. Now we've taken positions, binary positional arguing, and we're going nowhere. We might as well just battle for the rest of the fucking night, right? Just a boxing match. Pause. A leading man. And this is funny. I was accused today that I needed to learn empathy as a leader. I thought that was funny. A man with an effective communication skill set and an effective emotional skill set would instead pivot. He will say, okay, I see that you're upset and there are dishes in the sink. I do the dishes sometimes, but it feels like this is about more than the dishes being done. Is there more to this than that? No, it's just the dishes. Okay. I'm happy to do the dishes, and it feels like maybe you're coming in from work, and when you see like a chore that isn't done, maybe you're feeling, like there's more work at home, like you came home from work to work and I'm just not doing anything. and you feel like you're not supported. See how I pivot that from a chore to the emotional support that she needs? And she says, well, yeah, she's like, yes, I feel like I'm coming home and you're just fucking off. Okay, that's fair. I understand how you feel. I feel like I contribute to the house in other ways. However, I want you to be happy. Maybe we could talk about ways that I can support you in a better way, and ways that I also feel like I contribute and want recognized. I brought that whole conversation around to me. She'll probably say, yeah, okay, that makes sense. And then you can say, then you lead, right? All right, first, I want to do the dishes together with you. Let's do them together. So we feel like we're engaging each other and we're supporting each other. Yeah, okay. Or I'll just do that. No, we're doing this together. We're bonding with this. This is what we're doing. Now I'm taking command. So you go up and you do the dishes. Do. You're doing the dishes. She's drying, whatever the thing is. Say, can you tell me about the rest of your day while we're doing the dishes? Yeah, well, blah, 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 blah. You probably find out there's some other emotional shit in there. Others seem to want me. I'm sometimes black out. I don't know if anybody watching this later can read these. So can we address the fact that, yes, men are meant to be dominant, but dominance also comes with responsibility to those that depend on you happy too? Yes, absolutely. And I used to drive this point home like every fucking live that I got. Being a dominant male leader does not mean sloughing off. A dominant leader, my house is clean, Nobody should have to tell you to take the fucking trash out in your own damn house. Nobody should tell you to have to do the dishes in your own fucking house. It is your house. It is your castle. It is your environment. And you should be dominating it. You can even take this to the point of like a full-on BDSM, DS, relationship where you even I've had a service submissive. That was her existence, was service. When I see the dishes need to be done, which I'm going to do when I'm done with this live, I'm going to do the fucking dishes. When you create an environment where a woman has to remind you or tell you about chores to be done, you have turned yourself into a 13-year-old teenager that needs to be assigned his chores. And she can no longer see you as a man. Being a dominant and powerful male does not alleviate you of work. It requires more work. Most men should be coming home from work, and before they hit their transition into home life, they should be doing an hour of work. Just an hour. Do a load of laundry, do the dishes, clean the counters, decide what's happening for dinner. Then you can transition from work mode to home mode. And it will take you longer to transition, but that is what most men should be doing. And a lot of guys just come home and immediately plug into a video game, and then their woman is walking around the house puffy and resentful because shit ain't getting done. And you're actually laying off more work on her. You're saying, well, I worked 10 hours and she worked 8. Okay, that's probably fair. Life ain't fair. You're the leader. Lead by example. You do more than other people do. The end. And that's life. Yeah, I know that my version of masculinity does not fit with everybody. And I know, like you're saying, you didn't ask to be born a man, so why does this mantle of leadership and extra work rest on you? Once again, I agree that's not fair, but I also say life isn't fair. You can complain about it not being fair. You can be successful. I don't look for fair anymore, really. I mean, sometimes I do, but I see fair. Talking about fairness is more like a negotiation tactic because people want to be fair. This is an interesting thing. People want to be fair. So when you're negotiating with someone, Cheryl, hi, honey. Haven't seen you in forever. When you are, I'm just about to get off too. I'm sorry. When you are negotiating with someone, when you are done making a proposal, when you're negotiating, you shouldn't be out to destroy the other guy. You should be thinking about it that here is a problem that we're both looking at from different perspectives. And come up with a proposition that you think is fair. And then you say, okay, this sounds fair. Yes? And usually people will be like, well, yeah. But then they're very, very resistant to changing the deal, even if they didn't necessarily agree with you in the first place. It's like, because now they don't want to be seen as unfair. Thank you, Soul Magic. I know I'm just about to get off. I need to go do leg day. I was supposed to do it on Sunday, and then it was Easter, and my nieces came over, and we made pancakes and all that other crap, and I didn't get around to it. But it was great to see, like, some people showing up and talking and engaging. That's really awesome. Well, right. That it's, I don't know. Leadership is TikTok videos. Yeah, make TikTok videos. It's fun. I mean, obviously people, I got doxxed and like people call my work and shit. Talked about this already, but what happened to you on TikTok? Yes, I spelled that's all right. So I got canceled, and so I believe it was Kelso Crew, because she was going around about 3 weeks before I got canceled, and like telling people my personal information and stuff that she, found out somehow, I guess. And then all of a sudden, every single video I had got reported. And consistently reported over and over again until TikTok just banned me. Same thing happened when I did Snort Cough again. That only lasted for about, 3 weeks. So I waited a week or so, kind of deciding, did I want to re-engage? Decided I did, because I actually like these. I like the lives. And I feel like people get more engagement with me when I'm live, because the 1 minute TikToks, I'm kind of abrasive, and I'm kind of abrasive on purpose in order to create a disruption to a pattern. But I used to do lives all the time, and they were a lot of fun. And I had people would show up to lives a lot that were like, they were there to argue, and they were there to tell me I was a shithead and whatnot. And we'd start to engage, and I'd be like, okay, wait. I said this, and you interpreted it as this. You're now putting words in my mouth. This is what I said, and I meant exactly what I said. Now, if you want to engage what I said, that's fine. If you want to engage what you think, that's fine. But don't tell me I said what you think. And that would kind of make them back off. And then, but we'd have a lot of engagement with people, and people would eventually come around. And I had a lot of people that became followers that originally really didn't like me, but found me on a live and engaged with me. And it was like, oh, okay. I've been trying to comment as much as I can to help you get on the 4. Thank you, Andrew Alexander. I appreciate that. I can't respond to comments, by the way, on TikTok. Or not comments. I can't respond to comments right now today. I've been banned from commenting today. Because people reported 3 comments. And it was interesting that the comment that they reported was an NIH study on how often men are sexually assaulted. That got flagged for hate speech. There was the girl that made a video that said, if you don't know a woman, just don't approach her. There was another girl who is putting herself as men's wingman. So I tagged the men's wingman who said, just approach women 99.9% of the time. They really want you to come up to them. And I took her and I tagged her in the post of the girl who said, just don't approach women. And that got flagged as harassment and bullying. It's like, but, and then I had like 3 other videos tagged. No, all men need transition time. There's nothing wrong with needing transition time. And men need longer than women, and many women don't understand that. Women don't get as focused on individual tasks as men, and so they don't understand that men need a longer transition time than they do. However, men also, now this is on men tend to, yes, I do. And I put it up there in the thing, but my TikTok is Geronimo Funk. Here we go. Geronimo Funk. I think I spelled that right. Men have to not take advantage of the fact that they need transition time. And it helps a lot when you are somebody that needs transition time to give yourself that limit, to say to yourself, I need transition time. My transition time is 15 minutes. I am allowing myself 15 minutes of meditation or whatever it is I need to transition from work life to home life. So that you're not sitting there for, oh, I'm still transitioning. It's 3 hours later. No, you get time, but you need to take a reasonable time. Okay, I really got to go to the gym. I hope to see you guys. I will do another live again soon, and I'll see you then. And thank you again very much for showing up for this. I really appreciate it. I enjoy seeing everybody. It's a lot of fun. So I'll see you guys later.